this video, we are going to go over the Pythagorean Theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, some of this is going to be a review from what we've done in class. So let's go over it. The Pythagorean Theorem applies to right triangles only. You're going to have to keep that in mind. We have to have, in a right triangle, this little box in the corner that is 90 degrees. A and B always stand for the legs. They represent the length of the legs of the triangle, where C is always the hypotenuse. And remember, the hypotenuse is the longer side, but it's also the one that's always directly diagonal to the right angle. And if we look at the right triangle I've drawn for you here, this is a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. This proves to us why we know this Pythagorean theorem works. Well, if side A is 3, and off of side A, let's make a square. So side A is 3 units long, and we're going to make a square, so it's going to be 3 units wide, which, to find the area, we get 3 times 3, or 9 squares. Side B is 4. So 4 for side B, and make the square, we have 4 by 4, which is 16. Take the 5, which is the hypotenuse. 5 by 5 gives us 25. Let's put this into the Pythagorean theorem. Well, if A is 3, B is 4, and C is 5. Let's see if this works. A squared plus B squared should equal C squared. Well, what's 3 squared? It's 9. 4 squared? That's right, it's 16. What's 5 squared? 25. Good job. 9 plus 16, does that equal 25? Right on. So this proves to us how the Pythagorean theorem works. So let's now go to the next page, and let's put this into a problem that we might actually come across. Okay, we are going to first find the hypotenuse. So this is finding the hypotenuse. So let's start with our Pythagorean theorem. We have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, so let's look at our triangle. Okay, we're given one side is 8, one is 6, and we have to find the hypotenuse. So we're using our Pythagorean theorem. We can call A or B, it doesn't matter. So let's take A for being 6. So 6 squared plus, what's 8 squared? That's B squared. Will give us C squared. 6 squared, 36. 8 squared is 64. That's going to give us C squared. So what is 36 plus 64? You can add that up, and 100 is C squared. So we have to find out what C is. So when we have a number squared, how can we find its square root? Well, we take the square root of c squared, which was 1. So the square root of 100 is 10. The square root of c squared is c. So the hypotenuse is 10. So we have found the hypotenuse when we knew the two legs. If you need to go and review this page again, you do so. But let's move on to the third page, finding a leg when we know the hypotenuse and one leg already. Okay, we're going to find the leg of this right triangle that we have been given the hypotenuse, which is 100. We've been given one side, which is 60, and we're told we don't have side B. We have to find that. So 60 is side A. So we have to take side A and square it. We don't know what B is, so we still have an unknown. But we do know what C is. It's 100, and we're going to square it. So now let's do this. What is 60 squared? Right, 3,600 plus B squared. And what's 100 squared? It is, that's right, again, 10,000. If you notice, we have a simple equation here. We want to get this variable b squared by itself. So we have to undo the addition here. We're going to do the opposite of what we have so that we can eliminate it, but that means we have to do it on both sides. So we just got rid of the 3,600. We're left with just b squared. Now what's 10,000 minus 3,600? Well, you figure that on your calculators or on your paper. You're going to get b squared is 64. But we don't want b squared, we want b. So how do we end up with b? That's right, we have to take the square root of both sides. So what times itself gives us 64? Sorry, 6,400. Or what is the square root of 6,400? You got it. 80. So b equals 80. So we've just found the side to this triangle. And we have side B equals 80. Again, if you need to review this, you go right ahead.